Hey guys, thanks for clicking. I appreciate that. So today we're going to do a quick DIY oil change. We're doing it on a Chevy Tahoe. This is an 04 Tahoe, a little older. They're all pretty much the same. Chevy Tahoe, truck, pretty easy job. They charge a fortune for this, and if you have any bit of handy skills, you can do it yourself. So I'm going to show you how to do it really fast, really easy, and let's check it out. So here you go. I have these handy dandy little ramps that we drive up on. It makes life easy. I wouldn't get crazy and do any major work under there without using jack stands and a wheel chock, which we're gonna put a little chock behind the back wheel just in case the truck did roll. So with that being said, we don't need to use a jack. Let's get that started. Okay, so real quick, safety first. I put this chock behind the wheel. It is on ramps and it is in park and the emergency brake is on. Safety first. You definitely don't want the vehicle rolling over on you. So with that being said, let's take a look at the basic things that we need. All right, so here's some basic stuff you need. I have a creeper, nice bonus if you have one. If not, and you need something, sometimes a piece of cardboard works really nice. You can lay it down, you can move around on it easy. Let's see, this is an oil filter wrench. You can use a pair of locking pliers or channel lock pliers, 15 millimeter socket, drain pan, and a rag, of course. And that is pretty much all you need to get started underneath. Let's take a look and see what we got. So let's take a little ride on the creeper. Let's get under here and see what we have on this truck. So underneath, you're gonna locate your filter, pretty easy. And here is your drain plug, pretty easy. So we're going to start with the drain plug and we'll get this flowing out. So let's get our 15 millimeter socket, let's loosen this up and let's drain the oil out. And ideally you want to do it with the oil warm. It doesn't have to be hot, but warm is better because you're going to get much more fluid out that way, because oil, when it gets cold, it can be thick and it'll flow a lot slower. So let's check it out. All right, so let's get underneath here. Let's get our drain pan in the right spot. Make sure our ratchet's going the right way. Get it on here. Let's see. Okay, well, that's the right direction. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. I still say it to get the nut off. All right, let's see what we can do here. Ideally, we want to try to get the oil in the pan and not on our hand and not all over the driveway. Okay, so I like to back it out till it clicks, and then I do it like that. And if you notice, oh, as I'm talking, I just spilled some of the driveway, but if you notice, there's no oil on my hand. So when the oil comes out, you have to move the drain pan because you'll see the little arc here. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's coming out, yeah. And now I'm gonna knock the camera over. But yeah, as the oil moves, really good idea is to move the pan over here because now it's starting to drip. And now I got oil on my hand, of course. So you just kind of slide this way. There you go. We'll let that drain out. These Chevy trucks use, this is a 5.3 liter, so they use 6 quarts. The 6 liter uses 6 quarts also. So make sure your drain pan is big enough to hold 6 quarts, because this is the smaller drain pan that I have, and it is filling up. And you see when the oil's warm, it comes out much faster, which is a better deal. And as you see the oil coming, you gotta move your drain pan. There we go. All right, so we're gonna let that drain out for a minute, and then okay, and another quick tip while we're under here. So your oil drain nut, there it goes, has a washer on the nut, as you can see. And you need to check that washer because you really should replace it. And if you don't replace it, make sure that it's not cracked and make sure that it's in good shape because you don't want that to leak. You don't want oil leaking. And then there's a magnetic thing here for pieces of metal that will stick from your engine. Hopefully you don't have a lot, but if you do, make sure you clean that end off. If this nut, you can replace these two. The auto parts store is in the little quick section there. You can get a new washer for it, or you can get a whole new drain nut with the washer set up. It's a couple of bucks. It's well worth it. You don't want to play games. Like I said, this is holding all the oil to your engine. Make sure it's good. Okay, now that's drained out pretty good. So the oil nut and the washer are in pretty good shape because I changed them last time. So I like to take a rag and just clean the spot off where the oil, keep it clean, don't make a mess. Put your drain nut back in, you know, tighten it. It should go in nice and easy with no kind of friction on there. And then get the oil off there. Make sure your ratchet's going the right direction. You know, tighten that back down. You don't have to go crazy, folks. Just give it a nice snug. Sometimes I put my foot against the other tire and just tighten it up good. Okay, so now we have the, oh, there it is. Oil nut back in. We have it tightened, cleaned, gasket's good, make sure. And now we're gonna focus on the oil filter right here. We're gonna unscrew that with our little oil filter wrench. They're really cheap. I'll put the link in the description for the ones we use. But like I said, you can use the channel lock, plier or whatever to get that filter off. So let's go for the filter now. Okay, sorry about the camera there. I'm trying my best to prop it up so you can see what's going on here. You gotta get, this one's a little awkward because they don't leave you a lot of room on this side. They have different wrenches for this. I always just use this. I don't know. It works. See, get it in there. You gotta just make short little turns with it, but it works. Now you will get oil spilling from the filter as you loosen it up. So now once you get it loose, I don't know what happened to my rag. You just kind of want to twist it by hand, and like I said, as you do it, you're going to get oil. Just let it drain for a second. Though you don't get it all over your hand, but give it a minute, drain it out, and then we'll go from there. Let's see if I can reach over here. All right, so you let that drain for a minute, and then you can just kind of twist this thing out. Usually threads on quite a bit, and then there will be oil in this filter. So when you get it off, you want to kind of drain it into the pan there. There's just no not messy way to do this. All right, I'm gonna let that drain out, and then we'll go grab the new filter, and I'll show you what we need to do to get that prepped. All right, and here's what we're using. Using the Fram stuff, usually get a pretty good deal on this. Like I said, the 5.3 and the 6 liters use 6 quarts, so we have this, and we had to get an extra quart for that. And here is the filter. We're using a Fram with that also. That's the part number, and that is for pretty much all the Chevy 5.3 and 6 liter engines. That's the number on that. I'll put a link in the description if you are interested in that. It'll be there. So we're going to get the filter prepped, and we're going to put the filter back on, and then we can go ahead and get this filled up. Okay, so really important things to check when you're putting your new filter on. Okay, number one, make sure you get the right filter. So that's number one. Number two, there is a rubber gasket on your filter right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some oil on your fingertip, and you're just going to put some oil on that gasket to make sure that it seals good and it doesn't leak when you put it on. Now, also, when you take your old filter off, sometimes this rubber gasket will stick to the engine. You see how it moves, and it won't be on the filter. So make sure that when you take the old filter off, that the rubber gasket does not stick to the engine, because you don't want to have a double gasket in there, because that could cause the filter to loosen or leak. So when you pull the old filter out, make sure the gasket's on it. Okay, and real quick, here's the old one. Like I said, it's off, and the rubber gasket is on the filter. And I'll show you underneath just to make sure, but that's really important, so make sure you do that. Okay, and that's the housing where the filter goes in. There's a screw in the center, and like I said, the area I cleaned off with a rag, and there's no gasket. The gasket's on there. So let's go ahead and screw our new filter on that we put the oil on the gasket, and it threads on. Like I said, these are just really, really easy. You don't want to force it. You don't want to cross thread it. And then you are going to hand tighten it, but as tight as you can hand tighten it, if that makes any sense. You're gonna have to put the phone down for this one. All right, and then you're all done on the bottom side there. That's pretty much all you got to do. Like I said, drain the stuff out, oil nut, filter, you're on there. So now we're going to go over to the top side. We're going to refill the engine with the oil, and you know, we're going to be on our way. Okay, now we're going over to the top side. Here is your oil fill. Pop the cap off right here. Even tells you right on there, oil, and it tells you 530. We use full synthetic. You can use standard, that's your choice, but that's what we're using. So pop your cap off, get yourself a handy dandy funnel. Makes life a lot easier. Put your funnel there, and let's get our oil and get it going. Right. Well, let's get our oil going here. I always pour it a little bit on the slower side, because sometimes the funnel will like overfill. You don't want to spill oil everywhere. That just makes a mess. So use some patience. Okay, so we put our extra quart in, so that is the 6 quarts that this engine requires. Always check and make sure. We're gonna pull our funnel out of there, and we're gonna reinstall our cap. Make sure the seal is good, clean. Put that back on there. Make sure it's on there tight. Okay, now we have our oil in. We're gonna take the dipstick out. Take a quick look at the dipstick. Now, see here, this one has holes. Some have just marks. Some will tell you, you know, look at the dipstick and see what it says. But this one's really easy for the hole. So you just put it in and get it all the way down there. Bring it back out. And then you can see the holes are full of oil, and you can see your mark. So it's full. Now, we do have it up on the ramps still, so we are going to check it again after we get the vehicle down off the ramps. Okay, and one more thing I like to do too is we put the oil back in, we've tightened everything up, so like we should be good to go, but I always like to take a quick visual underneath the truck now that the oil's in, making sure there's not oil leaking out somewhere, because there's not a lot of things that can go wrong with an oil change, but if you didn't tighten the nut or it didn't go on or something like the oil comes out of your engine, that could be catastrophic. So you do not want that to happen. So take 1 minute and let's go underneath and take a quick check. We just roll under here really fast. Take a quick look. Everything looks, sorry about the crazy camera work there. Everything looks good. Look, no oil leaking out, no oil on the filter. So that all looks
And you know,
you
should always kind of look at your car when you park. Take a look. Is there a puddle of oil? Is there something coming out? And that way you're on top of it before you end up having a breakdown or something going bad. So with that being said, what do you do with the old oil?
And
let's check it out.
Easy, folks. You take the same jug that the oil came out of, you put a funnel in it, you grab your thing, you refill it back into the container. That's all.
We usually use, I think I use Advanced Auto for most, but AutoZone, Pep Boys, all those places too, they will take the recycled oil right back at the store. So, I mean, you change the oil, you put it right back into the jug that the oil came out of. It's nice and easy. Bring it right back to the store. They will recycle the oil for you. Or if your town or city has a oil recycling place, they will also take that oil too. So it's not really a big deal to get rid of the oil. With that being said, let's take a final check on the truck and make sure that we're done. And folks, there you have it. That is it. It is that easy, nice and clean. I think, you know, you could do a lot of times get deals. I think, you know, $30, $40 for all your stuff. They always running deals, and you can get coupons and stuff for, you can get the oil filter, you can get air filter sometimes, even a cabin filter for pretty good prices. So you're saving a lot of money doing it that time. So if you have any bit of mechanical skills and you have an area to do it, it's not that hard. You can do it yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Peace.